Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you want a man to think about you in the morning, noon, and night, you got to stop trying to be unforgettable and start becoming undeniable. See, there's a difference. We live in a world where perfection is often idolized. It's almost as if society tells us that we need to be flawless, to be loved, to be accepted, or to be desired. From airbrushed images in magazines to perfectly curated lives on social media, the pressure to be perfect is everywhere. But let me tell you something. Perfection will never make someone think about you morning, noon, and night. In fact, chasing perfection might just make you invisible. Why? Because perfection is not real, it's an illusion. It's a version of yourself that you think the world wants to see, but real connection, real attraction is built on authenticity, on who you are in your raw, unfiltered form. Perfection is unattainable, and frankly, it's not what people truly long for. People, especially men, don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with presence. When I say presence, I'm talking about the energy you bring into a room when you walk in. It's the way your eyes light up when you speak, the confidence in your voice when you tell a story, the way you make someone feel seen and heard without trying too hard. There's a thing you can't quite put into words but feel in your bones when you're around someone who just gets it. You know, the people who don't need to be perfect because their very presence makes you feel like everything's right with the world. That's the magic you should focus on, not striving to be perfect, but bringing your authentic self to the table. Perfection, on the other hand, creates distance. When you try too hard to look or be perfect, you're not allowing yourself to be real. And realness is what attracts real connections. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed perfect on paper, yet something felt off? Maybe they looked flawless, their life seemed perfectly put together, but when you were around them, there was no spark, no chemistry, no warmth. That's because perfection is cold. It doesn't allow room for imperfections, and guess what? It's the imperfections that make you human. It's the moments when you laugh too loud, when you mess up your words, or when you show vulnerability that create intimacy. Men aren't looking for perfection in a woman. They're looking for someone who can be present with them, someone who listens deeply, who laughs with abandon, who shares their thoughts openly. When you show up as you, unapologetically, without trying to fit some ideal, what happens is that you begin to create a lasting impact. You make someone want to be around you because of the energy you radiate, not because you tick off all the boxes of what they're supposed to desire. The reason perfection won't keep a man thinking about you all day long is simple. Perfection is predictable. It's something that can be figured out, calculated, and once it's done, it's done. But your presence, your unique energy can't be boxed in. It shifts, it changes, and it's alive. And that's exactly what someone wants to keep coming back to. Think of the people in your life who you love or who have left a lasting impression on you. Are they perfect? Do they have every detail about their lives together? Or do you remember the way they made you feel when they were around? How they listened to you without distraction? How they could make you laugh when you were down? How they made you feel like you mattered? That's presence. Presence is what keeps you on someone's mind long after the encounter is over. Another thing about presence is that it's magnetic. When you're genuinely present, you make the other person feel important. You make them feel like the most important person in the room. You give them your full attention, and that's a rare gift in today's world where everyone is always distracted. You don't need to be flawless to do this. You don't need to have the perfect outfit or say all the right things. You just need to be there, fully engaged and connected to the moment. And that's the kind of person people can't stop thinking about. That's the kind of person who sticks in someone's mind even after they've walked away. And here's the beauty of presence. It's something you can develop. It doesn't require changing who you are. You don't need to become someone else to get someone's attention. All you have to do is be more aware. Be more aware of your surroundings, of the people you're with, and of yourself. When you give yourself permission to show up authentically, flaws and all, you're letting your presence do the talking for you. You're no longer playing a part or trying to be something you're not. You're simply allowing your true self to shine, and believe me, that's far more compelling than anything perfect could ever be. In the end, presence isn't about being the loudest or the most extravagant. It's about being real, showing up fully, without apologies, and without the burden of trying to impress anyone. It's about connecting on a deeper level, about being the kind of person who makes others feel seen and valued. And when you do that, when you embrace your presence and stop chasing perfection, you'll find that the right people will be thinking of you, not because you were perfect, but because you were real, and that's the most powerful thing you can ever be. Let me tell you something about setting the tone in any relationship. If you're always waiting for someone else to set the vibe, you'll find yourself constantly chasing something that's just out of reach. It's easy to get caught up in the energy of someone else trying to figure out what they want, how they want it, and when they want it. But here's the thing. When you're busy chasing someone else's vibe, you're not allowing your own energy to shine through. You're just reacting to theirs, like you're a passenger in your own life. Now, instead of chasing someone else's vibe, how about this? Be the vibe. When you walk into a room, your energy should command attention. Your presence should be strong enough to shift the energy around you. And I'm not talking about being loud or obnoxious. I'm talking about being so sure of who you are that your vibe becomes undeniable. This doesn't mean you have to perform or put on a show. You just need to show up as yourself. Your authenticity is the best energy you can bring into any situation. And when you do that, people around you will feel it. They'll be drawn to you because your vibe is steady, is calm, and is powerful. Setting the tone isn't about forcing people to feel a certain way. It's about having the confidence to create your own energy and maintain it. Think about this for a second. How often do you find yourself trying to match the mood of the room or the person you're with? It's like you're always adjusting yourself to fit someone else's frequency. But imagine how different things would be if you walked into every situation with the mindset that you set the tone. You don't wait for someone else to dictate how things are going to go. You walk in and your energy establishes the pace. This means you stop being reactive. Instead of waiting for a guy to text you, you keep doing your thing. Instead of waiting for someone to make the first move, you take control of your own vibe and let them respond to it. People are naturally drawn to confidence, And confidence doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means you're grounded in who you are and you're not looking for validation from others. You know your worth, and because of that, your energy is magnetic. Now, let's talk about something else that plays into keeping someone's attention: mystery. The truth is, people tend to be more intrigued by things they don't fully understand. When everything is laid out for someone, there's nothing left to discover. It's like reading a book where the entire plot is revealed on the first page. It doesn't have the same pull. But when you leave a little something to the imagination, you make the other person want to keep flipping through the pages, eager to learn more. Mystery makes memory last longer because it keeps the mind engaged. When there's an element of surprise or uncertainty, people start to wonder about you. They start filling in the gaps with their own curiosity. This doesn't mean you have to play games or act like you're not interested. No. What I'm talking about is leaving enough space for someone to want to learn more about you without giving away all of your cards at once. Think about how you feel when you meet someone who's mysterious. They don't tell you everything about themselves all at once. They give you glimpses, little moments that make you want to learn more. It's the same in relationships. When you're always transparent, when you overshare everything too quickly, you're giving away the mystery. And without that element of curiosity, things get boring fast. People don't want to feel like they've already read the entire story. They want to feel like there's still a chapter left to discover. Mystery creates anticipation. It's that excitement you feel when you don't know everything, but you want to. It keeps the spark alive. It makes the other person think about you more often because they're trying to piece things together. What do you stand for? What do you really care about? What are your dreams and fears? These are the things that keep people intrigued, and it's the mystery that gets them to come back for more. When you reveal everything too soon, you take away the chance for that magic to grow. So instead of spilling everything at once, let some of it unfold slowly. And don't confuse mystery with playing games. Mystery isn't about being dishonest or pretending you're someone you're not. It's about giving the other person just enough to keep them wanting more without showing them everything all at once. It's about pacing yourself. This way, the other person becomes more invested in discovering who you are and what makes you tick. They start to value every little piece of information you share because they've had to work for it. Boom. Remember, the key to keeping someone's attention and making them think about you constantly is not just about being available or giving them everything up front. It's about creating space, a little bit of distance, where they have to actively engage with you to understand who you are. This is what keeps the connection fresh and exciting. It's that sweet spot between revealing just enough and holding back enough to leave the mind wandering. And when you get this balance right, you'll find that people keep coming back, thinking about you more and more, because there's always something new to discover. Confidence is one of those traits that's often misunderstood. People think it's all about the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, or the way you present yourself to the world. And while those things matter, true confidence is something deeper. It's an inner knowing. It's about being completely at ease with who you are, without needing to prove anything to anyone. When you exude real confidence, It's not about being loud or over the top. It's about standing tall in your own skin, knowing that you're enough just as you are. Let me be clear, real confidence is irresistible. When you know who you are, when you're comfortable with yourself, flaws and all, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You're not seeking validation from the outside world because your confidence comes from within. And let me tell you something, there's nothing more magnetic than a person who isn't trying to be anything they're not. People can sense that. They can feel the realness, and the more you embrace who you are, the more people are naturally drawn to you. Now, confidence doesn't come overnight. It's something you develop over time, and it starts with accepting yourself, every part of yourself, the insecurities, the mistakes, the things you don't always love about yourself. When you can look at all of that and still say, I'm still worthy of love, respect, and success, that's when your confidence will shift. It's about owning your story. When you can stand in your truth and not apologize for it, you're sending a message to the world. This is me, take it or leave it. And trust me, when you start doing that, people won't just respect you, they'll be drawn to you in ways you never expected. True confidence isn't boastful. It's humble. It's quiet but strong. It's not about talking down to others or putting them beneath you. It's about knowing your worth without needing to shout it from the rooftops. People who are truly confident don't have to tell you, they just are. And that's what makes them irresistible. You don't have to compete for attention when you're confident because you've already recognized your own value. When you get to that place, others will recognize it too. Confidence, in its most authentic form, is a force that attracts and pulls people in naturally. When we talk about emotional connection, we often think about chemistry and the magnetic pull between two people. But true emotional connection goes far beyond just physical attraction or shared interest. It's about depth. It's about connecting with someone on a level that reaches beyond the surface and touches the core of who they are. The truth is, emotional connection always wins over physical attraction. Why? Because physical attraction fades, but emotional connection lasts. Physical attraction is real. We can't deny that. We're human, and we're wired to be drawn to certain looks or features. But at the end of the day, physical attraction alone is not enough to sustain a relationship. And it's certainly not enough to make someone think about you day and night. Eventually, the novelty of looks wears off. What keeps people coming back, what keeps them invested, is an emotional bond, a deeper connection that runs beneath the surface. Emotional connection is about feeling seen, heard, and understood. It's about sharing moments that matter, conversations that go beyond small talk, and experiences that shape your shared narrative. When you connect with someone on an emotional level, you're tapping into a part of them that they don't share with just anyone. That's what builds trust, respect, and intimacy. Emotional connection is what makes someone want to stay up late talking to you, and it's what keeps them thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Think about it. How many times have you been physically attracted to someone, but when you spent more time with them, you realized there wasn't much else there? Maybe the conversation was shallow, or you didn't feel a true connection. Eventually, the initial spark fades because there was no deeper emotional bond to hold it in place. But with the emotional connection, the attraction only deepens over time. As you get to know someone on a more profound level, the bond between you strengthens. It's the little things, the way they listen to you, the way they make you feel valued, the way you share vulnerabilities and grow together, that create a lasting relationship. Emotional connection is the glue that holds people together through the ups and downs. It's the reason you can stay with someone through tough times. When you've built an emotional foundation, physical attraction, you start to appreciate the other person for who they are, not just how they look or how they make you feel in the moment. And that's what makes emotional connection far more powerful than physical attraction. When two people share a deep emotional bond, it's something that can withstand time, distance, and life's challenges. It's a connection that lasts long after the butterflies fade. This is why, when you're building a meaningful relationship, emotional connection should always be your priority. Looks may draw someone in, but it's the emotional connection that will keep them coming back. When you can establish that bond, that's when you'll make a lasting impression. And it's that bond that will have them thinking about you when they wake up, during their day, and as they fall asleep at night. Having standards in your life is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. Yet, far too many people misunderstand the importance of maintaining high standards, particularly when it comes to relationships. There's this misconception that if you have standards, if you set boundaries, you'll push people away. People think it will make them seem difficult or unapproachable, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is, your standards don't push people away. They separate the boys from the men, the women from the girls, the serious from the not so serious. When you set high standards for yourself, you're not being picky or unreasonably demanding. You're simply saying, I know my worth, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than what I deserve. You're teaching others how to treat you. In doing so, you give them the opportunity to step up to your level or bow out if they can't meet those expectations. It's not about being rigid or controlling. It's about understanding that you are valuable and you deserve to be treated with respect, kindness, and consideration. Imagine being in a situation where you don't have any standards. It's like walking around without a compass. There's no clear direction, no guiding principles, and no sense of what's acceptable. Without standards, people will treat you however they please, and you may end up in relationships or situations that are far from healthy or fulfilling. People will take advantage of your lack of boundaries, because when there's no standard for behavior, there's no limit to what can be expected. You're leaving the door open for mistreatment, disrespect, or even worse, neglect. But when you have standards, you instantly raise the bar for how people interact with you. Having high standards doesn't mean you expect perfection. No one is perfect, and we all have our flaws. But standards are about knowing what's non-negotiable for you. They're about recognizing that certain behaviors, attitudes, or actions just don't align with your values. And that's perfectly fine. Everyone is entitled to their own set of expectations, and it's important to be clear about yours. When you put those standards in place, you eliminate those who aren't in alignment with them, and that's how you start to separate the boys from the men. When you set the bar high, you'll quickly find that the people who truly belong in your life will rise to meet those standards. They won't be intimidated or put off by your expectations. Instead, they'll respect you for having the courage to set them in the first place. A person who is genuinely interested in you will be more than willing to meet you where you are. They'll step up, not because they're forced to, but because they genuinely care about you and value the connection. This is the mark of a true, mature individual. Someone who is willing to put in the effort to make things work, who is invested in building something meaningful. But here's the kicker. Those who are unwilling to meet your standards, those who don't respect your boundaries, will eventually fall away. They'll either try to lower your expectations or make excuses for why they can't meet them. And that's when you know they're not serious. They're not ready for the level of commitment, respect, or maturity that you require. These are the people who tend to waste your time, and honestly, you're better off without them. You deserve someone who sees your worth and rises to meet it, not someone who sees your standards as an obstacle or a challenge to get around. This is why it's so important to have standards in place before you enter a relationship. If you start lowering your standards just to keep someone in your life, you'll end up losing sight of what truly matters to you. You'll be sacrificing your values, and eventually the relationship will suffer. If you settle for less than you deserve, you'll attract the wrong energy and will inevitably feel dissatisfied. However, when you stay true to your standards, you attract people who are in alignment with your values, who respect you for who you are, and who are ready to give as much as you are willing to give in return. When you set your standards, you're also teaching others to respect you. You're saying, this is who I am, and I expect to be treated with the same respect and integrity that I offer. And guess what? People will either rise to that level or leave. And that's okay. The right people will never shy away from your standards. They'll embrace them because they'll know that meeting your expectations means they're capable of offering something real, something substantial. At the end of the day, your standards don't make you difficult, unapproachable, or demanding. They make you valuable. They ensure that only the right people get the privilege of being in your life. And when you stand firm in your standards, you show the world that you're not afraid to walk away from anything less than what you deserve. This not only protects your peace, but also elevates your entire experience of relationships. You start attracting people who are ready to give you the same level of commitment, love, and respect that you give to them. Energy is one of those intangible things that we often overlook, but it plays a massive role in shaping our interactions, relationships, and experiences. Every single person emits energy, whether they're aware of it or not. The energy you give off is like an invisible force that influences the people around you. And the most powerful part of it is this: what you give off is exactly what you attract. Your energy is a reflection of who you are, what you believe, and how you feel about yourself. And that energy will either draw the right people into your life or push them away. If you're constantly radiating negative energy, whether it's through your thoughts, your words, or your actions, then that's the energy you'll attract. Have you ever been around someone who just seems to have a bad vibe? Maybe they complain constantly, they're always negative, or they can never seem to be happy. Chances are those people attract more of the same. It's like they're in a constant cycle of negativity, and the energy they give off draws in more negative experiences, people, and situations. The universe, in a sense, mirrors back to us what we put out there. If you're giving off frustration, anxiety, or bitterness, don't be surprised if that's what you end up with more of in your life. On the flip side, when you emit positive, confident, and high energy vibrations, that's exactly what you're going to attract. If you approach life with a mindset of abundance, optimism, and gratitude, That energy will radiate from you, and it will pull people who share those values into your life. Think about it. When you feel good about yourself, when you're confident and comfortable in your own skin, people notice that. They are drawn to you. Your energy makes them want to be around you because it feels good. People want to be near someone who brings positivity and light into their lives. They don't want to be surrounded by negativity and drama. This is why it's so important to check your energy on a regular basis. Are you in a place where you're radiating the kind of energy you want to receive back? Are you walking into situations with a positive attitude? Or are you letting your worries, doubts, and insecurities take control? The energy you put out into the world is what will be reflected back to you, and that's why it's essential to be conscious of the energy you're giving off at all times. One of the most powerful ways to change your energy is to focus on your thoughts. Your thoughts are the foundation of your energy. If you're constantly thinking negatively about yourself, about your life, or about your future, that negativity will seep into your energy field. If you wake up every day thinking, I'm not good enough, or this day is going to suck, then you're already starting the day on the wrong note. That negative mindset will set the tone for the rest of your interactions and experiences. You're sending out a signal to the world that you're not worthy of happiness or success, and the world will respond accordingly. However, when you change your thought patterns, when you start focusing on gratitude, on what's going well in your life, on the good things around you, you start to shift your energy. Positive thoughts lead to positive energy, and that energy becomes magnetic. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus to what's working, what you can control, and how you can improve your situation. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice how your energy changes. And as your energy shifts, you'll find that people and circumstances begin to reflect that positive change. Another crucial aspect of energy is the way you carry yourself. Confidence, body language, and the way you present yourself all contribute to the energy you give off. When you walk into a room with your head held high, a smile on your face, and a sense of purpose, people notice. That energy is contagious. People gravitate toward individuals who exude self-assurance and calm. It's not about being arrogant or pretending to be something you're not. It's about being in touch with your own self-worth and allowing that to shine through in your actions. When you feel good about yourself, when you believe in your own value, that confidence becomes an energy that others can't help but be drawn to. You have the power to change the energy you're putting out into the world. You have the power to decide what kind of energy you want to attract into your life. If you're tired of attracting negativity, toxicity, or drama, it's time to shift your energy. If you're ready to attract love, respect, success, and happiness, it starts with the energy you project. The universe responds to your energy. It brings you what you reflect. If you believe you're worthy of good things, if you believe that you deserve love, success, and happiness, your energy will reflect that and the world will respond accordingly. And remember, this is a process. You won't change your energy overnight, and that's okay. The key is to be intentional about it. Be aware of the energy you're putting out there and make the choice to shift it when necessary. Your energy is a reflection of your inner world. When you work on cultivating a positive mindset, a strong sense of self-worth, and a genuine belief in your own power, that energy will radiate from you. And it will draw the right people and opportunities into your life. Patience is often overlooked in a world that's constantly on the go. We live in an age of instant gratification where everything is just a click away. Food, information, entertainment, you name it. So it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything should happen quickly, that success, love, or anything else meaningful should be instant. But the truth is, patience is one of the most powerful qualities you can cultivate, especially when it comes to relationships and personal growth. When you rush the process, you not only miss out on the lessons that come with time, but you also risk creating a false sense of achievement. You might reach your destination, but you won't have fully earned it or enjoyed the journey. Patience is power because it allows you to stay grounded and calm even when things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like. Instead of reacting impulsively or trying to force outcomes, patience teaches you to trust the process and the timing of your life. It allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture, knowing that everything unfolds in due time, actively. This doesn't mean you sit back and wait passively for things to happen. No, patience is not about being idle. It's about being deliberate in your actions, staying consistent, and understanding that true growth takes time. In relationships, patience is crucial. Too often, we want things to move fast. We want to know everything about someone. We want the connection to feel deep right away, and we want the relationship to progress quickly. But relationships, just like anything of value, need time to develop. The most meaningful connections don't happen overnight. They are built on trust, understanding, and shared experiences. And these things take time to nurture. If you rush into a relationship, you might miss the chance to truly get to know the other person. You might skip over important conversations, or you might ignore red flags because you're too focused on moving things along. Patience allows you to truly learn about someone before you make any significant decisions. It helps you to see their flaws and strengths, their values, and how they handle challenges. This is crucial because relationships are not about finding perfection, but about finding someone who is willing to grow with you. If you rush into things, you might end up with a relationship that's built on quick assumptions or a shallow understanding. But if you take your time, you'll develop a deeper connection based on genuine compatibility and mutual respect. And that connection will be much stronger in the long run. Patience also gives you the space to work on yourself. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, and it requires time and dedication. When you're patient with yourself, you allow room for mistakes, setbacks, and learning. Growth doesn't happen in an instant. It takes time to unlearn bad habits, to develop new ones, and to become the person you need to be for the life and relationship you want. Patience helps you avoid rushing into situations before you're ready. It allows you to focus on becoming the best version of yourself so that when the right opportunities or the right people come into your life, you're ready to embrace them fully. Another aspect of patience is the ability to remain calm and composed when things aren't going according to plan. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and moments of uncertainty. But when you cultivate patience, you learn to stay calm under pressure. Instead of reacting emotionally or hastily, patience teaches you to step back, assess the situation, and take a thoughtful, measured approach. Patience also plays a key role in setting and achieving your goals. In today's world, we're constantly told that we need to hustle, that we need to go after what we want with urgency and speed. While there is value in working hard and being proactive, it's equally important to recognize that good things take time. Whether it's building a career, growing a business, or improving your health, you need to be patient with the process. Progress may be slow, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Small, consistent steps add up over time. Patience helps you stay focused and disciplined, even when you don't see immediate results. And when it comes to attracting the right people into your life, patience is essential. We live in a world where many people are eager to jump into relationships or friendships without giving themselves or others enough time to grow and connect. But the truth is, the best connections are those that have had time to develop naturally. If you're constantly rushing to find the one or to form a connection, you might overlook someone who would have been perfect for you if only you'd given them the time and space to show who they really are. Patience allows you to wait for the right person, to attract someone who is truly compatible with your values and life goals. And when you take your time, you're more likely to build a relationship that is lasting and fulfilling. Patience ultimately teaches you to trust in the journey. It encourages you to focus on the present moment and enjoy the process rather than always worrying about the end result. When you let go of the need for instant results and embrace the flow of life, you'll find that things come to you in their own time, and when they do, they're far more rewarding. Rushing through life means you miss the lessons and beauty along the way, but with patience, you not only reach your destination, but you do so with a deeper sense of fulfillment, wisdom, and joy.